Alright, so welcome to welcome to Geospatial. My name. I do Geospatial analysis. Alright, so yeah, this is going to be another analysis on the multi-criteria. I call it AHP, analytical hierarchical processing. You can call it suitability analysis, vulnerability analysis, multi-criteria analysis. There are different names you can call it, but all matters is you are trying to analyze overlay of different layers. You're doing overlay to give you a single result based on different parameters. You're trying to get a single result, better decisions, or how to make better decisions based on different parameters, and overlays all of them together to give a single one. So now we're going to be doing an analysis on fire station services. So on this one, we have a police distance from police stations. We have how closer it is to hospitals, semi-police, and we already have existing fire stations, but we want to locate where to place new fire stations, right, in Lagos State. So for this one, we are going to bring out existing fire stations. We consider federal fire stations because those are the ones that can be accessed easily. And we have the boundary for the states, in Lagos State. We have the local government here. We have buildings, all the buildings in Lagos State. You might not really see them here. Let me put it in red and make the outline bigger so you can see very well. Alright, these are the buildings in Lagos State. And we have water body. Let me uncheck this one. These are water body here. Alright, so now the first thing you have to do is you have to classify each and every of these factors into different classes. And before you do this, you have to have a backup, a proof of what you're doing. For example, now, if I want to locate, okay, for water body, I want to locate where are the places I can put water body. This is part of land use. In some other ways, it's better use a satellite imagery, but because I don't want to take much longer period on doing this, we just have to remove satellite imagery out of it. Satellite imagery will help you to classify where there is land use, where there is water body, where there is vegetation, where there is built up and stuff like that. But I have all of this in vector file, so I'll just go ahead and use it like that to analyze my data. Alright, so for water body, I need to know, okay, these are the places that I have water, these are the places I have river. Definitely, it is not proper to site fire stations on water body. So automatically, these places are going to be null or zero or not suitable. So now, I'm going to open an Excel Word document. I'm going to give this one suitable and two moderate, likely, suitable, or you can use something as a medium factor, and you can use okay, sorry, we can use very suitable, you can use suitable and not suitable. This one will go well. So now we can paint this one 1 2 3 1 2 3. So any value you give as 1 is very suitable, any value you give as 2 is suitable, any value you give as 3 is not suitable at all. Alright, so now for this one, I'm going to be classifying this area that I have as water body as not suitable at all. You can't build a fire station in, or let's say on water. Alright, so I'm going to use this first of all as number 1 factor. So we'll be working on each factor one by one. So now, how can we classify where to identify as suitable, that it is plus or minus, it is okay, it's preferable, it's not bad, plus or minus? So those ones you have to make research on each and every of the factor to give a proof that okay, this place are reasonable. So I went ahead and go to there's a website that gives you buildings along coast, and this tells me that okay, yeah, you can be able to put I think it gave 200 meters. Where is it here? So it gives different classes, 30 meters from rivers, lake, ponds, and it gives some other ideas on how to. So this one says no construction or reconstruction of any building shall be allowed within a strip of land of 200 meters of such higher distance as may be prescribed at the time of the state or government prepared of the outer boundary river drainage. So a buffer of 45 meters is assumed all along the flow of river or flow tank. So I'll just put 200 meters just for the sake of this tutorial. I'll put 200 meters for the boundary. So you go ahead and do your processing buffer. If you are using ArcGIS Pro, you can know how to do buffer on that. So select water body here. Alright, once you select water body, you make this one 200 and change this one to meters. Alright, and make sure you select where you want to save your file. Alright, I've already done this before, so I can just dash trash and give it a name as 200 meter buffer. Alright, so I think that's that, and you give it OK. Alright, so that's for one. So the second thing you'll be doing is to say that, okay, let me overlay this on top of, okay, on top of water. Let me remove this. Alright, so now I'm working on water body. So water body, and you can see this one on top of it. We put water body on top of it so you can see the background. If I should zoom closer, you can see the distance in meters. This is the 100 meter, 200 meter buffer we did. So anywhere within this 200 meter is likely suitable for construction, but is not 100% suitable, just for the sake of this tutorial. So now, if we say this one is, we classify this one as not suitable. You can see the pink color here as suitable, and everything outside the pink color is highly suitable. You can build anywhere outside this one. Alright, so I think that's for that. So now, for us to merge these three together as one, you have to do another step. Number one is to make sure that all attribute details are zoomed up as one. You have to merge all of them. To merge all of this, you have to right click on this, go to edit, start editing. Once you start editing, you started editing. So I like this feature, just right click anywhere here. Alright, and make sure editor is checked. So when editor is checked, you select, right click on this, go to selection, select all. Alright. So if all has been selected, I should have done this before this, so when we go for everything, it seems the same. So just go to merge, and you're going to select one attribute to represent the rest. So you click on OK. Alright, so having done that, if you go to the attribute table, you'll see that you only have one row. Alright, so we'll do the same thing for the rest. Go to water body, you have to stop editing to go to the next one, save. Well, let me just save this. Alright, so you go to water body and do the same thing for water body. Alright, so for water body, this might cause confusion because I have this stored in another file, so I don't complicate the data. So I'm going to export this and save it somewhere else so that I can have a backup. Alright, so fire station, water body. Alright, so I have my water body here. I click save, click OK. Alright, you add your data to the map. We can remove this, so just in case anything happens to this, we have a backup. Alright, so you right click on this and go to edit feature, start editing. Once you start editing, you do the same thing, right click, select all. So once all is selected, go to editor, merge. Alright, you click on OK. That merge everything as one. You verify on the attribute table. Alright, very good. So lastly, I believe boundary is in one. Alright. So once everything has been merged, we're going to merge these three data sets as a one single shape file. We have the water body buffer 200, and the boundary to represent as highly suitable. So you go to geoprocessing and you click on merge. Alright, so drag these three and put them here, or you can select them from the drop down. Alright, once this has been selected, you save it to your folder, merge water body underscore suitable. Let's use AHP. Alright, so we know that yes, this is what we're using for AHP. And you click OK, voila. So now you might see a blank this, and you just go to the attribute table. You see all your files saved as one. We have 1, 2, and 3 as a boundary. So this one, okay, I think this is right. Just a minute. Alright, to be sure, I need to know which one is for suitable and not suitable. Okay, you can see this one that is below definitely should be not suitable, and this one that is here should be suitable, and this one that is here should be highly suitable. So you see that the numbers have been mixed up, so it is your duty to arrange them accordingly. So to arrange this accordingly, you can uncheck this one. Let's uncheck this so you don't get confused. We're only making use of this. To arrange this accordingly, you have to start editing. Right click on this, go to edit feature. Okay, we've not stopped editing before. Stop editing of previous map, so you can start editing of another one. Stop editing, save your work. Alright, so you right click on this, edit feature, start editing. Alright, so for this we have to well, just on this ID, just give it a number. If you have a column that has an ID or something, you can create ID on that. Just give this one a number. Okay, let's stop this one. So I'll show you the process on how to add a field. Right click on this, go to attribute table, then you right click on the drop down, add field. So once you add field, you give this one as class. Short integer is okay. It's okay. Alright, so once you're giving it a class, it's too long. You can uncheck these ones and turn field off. Oh. We can just delete fields, and you have to do it one by one, and it's fine. So let's just give this one class. You have this one, you have to be very careful and be sure. This one is not suitable, this one is suitable, and this one is highly suitable. So not suitable is number, what do you give from not suitable? Not suitable is number 3. Alright, so once you've added field, just right click on this to be able to edit. You start editing. You won't be able to add field if you started editing. That's why we have to stop editing before we add field. So for this, you can give not suitable as number 3. This one as number 3, and we have suitable as number 2, and we have highly suitable as the boundary, that's number 1. Alright, I believe we are good. So if you've done this, just stop editing and save your work. So the next step you have to take for this is to convert this to raster, so you could be able to do the overlay analysis on for the AHP. So once you go to, I think that's vector to raster, more like rasterization. So let's look for a suitable tool for this. I'm going to close all of this, and okay, let me look at conversion to raster to raster to raster. Very good. So feature to raster, let's open this. Just drag this one here, or you can click on the drop down, and make sure you save it in a file where you can remember. Water body feature to raster. underscore AHP. So we will know that yes, that's AHP. And it's giving you a red sign because you're not really giving a format for this raster. You can put .tif. That should do. Alright, so for the class, you select the field and select class. I think that's okay. And the class will help you to differentiate all of them, and also to give it a name for the raster file. So for something like this, the raster will carry attribute details. Okay. So let me close this and alright, uncheck this. You can see your raster in different classes. Very good. So for this, you're now comfortable with the raster pixel. You can go to results and see the previous section you've done. Double click on it, and the cell size, you can edit it. Alright, you can put 0.3. This is going to take longer period. Alright, you can put 0.5 to just make it faster a bit, and make sure you change the name. You can put AHP2. I always know that anytime I put AHP2 or any number above is the current one, so it helps you to remember easily. So you click OK. This one might take a little while. Alright, I'm seeing this one here is going to give an issue, so let's just uncheck this. Probably we don't have to change the cell size, so it doesn't complicate issues. So double click on the previous one, and you can give this one as 0. Let's see. Let's try a different one. This one as 3, and click OK. Alright. Still the same problem. Alright, so this one is much better. This one has more cell size compared to this one. You can see it has different cell size, and this one looks more, actually this one looks more better. So we can remove this one, remove this, so that your work doesn't get too clumsy. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do is looking at we're done with this. We have different classes, 1, 2, 3. Alright, that's number 1. You can see it's in 1, 2, 3. So number 1 we have here is, wait, very suitable is number 1. Okay, to be sure. So these areas are very suitable. Number 2, these areas are suitable. I use moderately suitable, and these areas are not suitable at all. So we are done with raster for water body, and I always like to group them in one place so that you can merge all of these: building, water body, buffer, blah blah blah, everything. You can group them. It makes your work more easier. So you can say water body. Alright, so once you are done with this, just uncheck this and close it. We are done with water body. So the next thing we have to do is fire stations. Existing fire station, we can check this one as existing fire stations. So good. So if you have your existing fire stations, these are location of existing fire stations. Alright, so the next thing we have to do is to locate. We don't have to make the fire station duplicate, so you don't have two fire stations here, fire station here, fire stations here, whereas the place you need fire stations, they are none there. So we're going to do a buffer of 5 kilometer radius, so 5 mile radius, yes, 5 miles radius from each fire station. That anywhere 5 mile radius, there shouldn't be another fire station there. Okay, just to save more money and also be smart as where you should position fire station. Left for me, I would suggest many fire stations should be everywhere. You understand? But just to consider the AHP and make more reasonable location for where to put fire stations. if they are proposing for 5 fire stations, you should know where to put 5 fire stations. But if they are proposing like you want to put 100 fire stations, wow, you definitely reduce the number of radius. You can just put, okay, in the next 2 kilometers, I should be seeing a next fire station. So this one, we're putting it in the next 5 miles radius. We're going to be putting a new fire station, all right? So we're going to do a buffer for this. And I know we've done a buffer for this before, but just for the sake of this, I'll do a new buffer. Buffer on this for 5 mile radius. You drag this as usual, select this, and create this in a folder for fire stations. So your work is all arranged, right? So I'm going to call this fire station. Fire station. So I double click on this. I'm going to put this buffer underscore fire underscore stations underscore 5 miles. Alright. So when you do this, just click save. Make sure you select miles and select 5. Alright. So if you've done this, the next thing you have to do is okay, that's good. So if you've done this, just click on OK. Okay, so these areas, there should not be fire stations within these areas, alright? So that is for this one. So after this area to the next 5 miles, you should be having a new fire station, let's say 2 miles. It should be suitable for fire stations. Okay. So it looks a little bit bigger than I expected, and it's way bigger. So between next 5 miles, you should have another fire station. So what we're going to do now, we're going to create another buffer from this buffer. Alright, so and for us to create another buffer from this buffer, we have to do, there's another analysis we have to do. That's feature to envelope, yeah. So feature to envelope is going to envelope each buffer in a form of a polygon, like a box, a rectangle. So what we're going to do, we click feature to polygon. If you can't locate it, just type feature poly. Feature to polygon. Anytime you see data management, you know it's for raster. It's mostly for raster. Alright, so just click feature to polygon feature class. Anytime you see feature class, you know it's a shapefile. Anytime you see SHP, you know it's also a shapefile, the vector file. And you drag this one inside here. Alright, so you click on this buffer fire station 5 mile. So to make this one look different, you can use env underscore env envelope. So you click on OK. So you cancel this to create more view. Alright, very good. So it means that all these places where we have all of these are going to be not suitable. Alright, so we've created the layer for not suitable. So what we have to do now is to start editing for this one. And select all feature. And what you do, you merge all of them. Alright, good. So all these places where we have not suitable, you're just going to stop editing. These places are not suitable. They are represented as not suitable is number 3. Alright, represented as number 3. So the next one we have to do is I think we have to create another buffer to show where we have to put fire stations. Okay. So it means that all these places remaining, definitely they are suitable for fire station. But left for me, I would suggest that These 5 miles should be for suitable, and the one we have, okay, 5 miles suitable. Okay, let's just leave this as this. And what we're going to do, we'll create another 2 miles from this one. 2 miles. We're going to do a buffer. Just double click on this, drag this one to this so you don't do it differently. So this one is 2 miles from underscore from 5 mile. This will help me remember that, okay, I'm doing 2 miles from 5 mile radius. So I know that it's not from the actual fire stations. You understand? So you can also reduce this as a shortened word abbreviation. So change this one as 2 miles. Okay, so you click OK. So if you've done this and it's all good, next we know that, okay, all these places where we have bring all this stuff down. All these places are suitable. This one are not suitable, and this one is highly suitable. Everything here is highly suitable. So what do we have to do to merge all of this together is the next question. What do we have to merge all of this together? So we have to make this one as 1, 2, no, sorry. This one is not suitable. This one is 3. So this one is 1, 2, 3. Alright. So to merge all of this, you have to bring this one also. Make sure everything is merged as 1. Okay, good. Everything is merged as 1. Check this one too. Everything is merged as 1. Good. And boundary 2 is merged as 1. So all you just have to do is click on this one and this one. I have to be sure I'm doing the right thing. This buffer fire stations 5 miles. 2 miles from 5 miles and 5 mile envelope. Okay, this is the previous one we did. So what you just do, select these 3, go to geoprocessing, or you can click on merge here. So let's just go to geoprocessing and click on merge. Alright, once you clicked on merge, drag this one to this place. Giving us an instant that datum are different, datum conflict between input and output. Okay, datum conflict between input and output is saying that we have different coordinate system. Okay, different coordinate system is saying that, I think this one is minus 131 knots. We have a conflict between data system, it's WGS. This one too, I have to check very well. So until it's WGS. All of them are WGS. I don't know why it's giving issues with that. Okay, so let's try it again. Merging boundary, buffer, and this. Oh, I don't know why it's giving issues on datum conflict between inputs and outputs. Okay, let me check the outputs. Output coordinate system. Okay, same as inputs. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what happens. Click on this and make sure it is buffer file station, then you make this one AHP. So you keep it safe. Alright, so okay, it worked. Alright, let's uncheck all of this. Check this one. You can group everything here into one group. So we know that yes, we are dealing with fire station inside this group. And one thing we are for sure is that all these areas are water body. So you don't expect us to build on water bodies here. So we're going to trim that one out. So but for this, if you open the attribute table, alright, you see that this one has number 3 and this number 1. No, this number 2 and this number 1. Okay. So what we just have to do is to clip everything to fall within this boundary. So you go to geoprocessing and you go to clip. Alright, you drag your result for AHP here, and your clip feature is the boundary of Lagos State. You drag it here, and you go to this place and give it AHP 2. Always know that the highest value is the current result you have. Alright, good. So you can drag this one inside here as well. Okay, good. Uncheck this one and check the attribute table. Once you check the attribute table, whoa, something is wrong. Attribute table, but there is something is wrong. Something is wrong. It didn't clip with the, oh, sorry. I think it's clipped only this one because I was highlighting the boundary on this. So let's right click on this and remove. And repeat the same procedure for clip. When repeating the same procedure, make sure this is clear. You clear selection. Once you clear selection, we're going to give this one as 3 and click OK. If you're giving that one as 3 and you click on OK, check the attribute table again. Voila. Yeah. So this is for number 3, 1, 2, and 1. So for us to rename this class as 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you can go to the process of adding a new class, a new field. Click this on class, short integer. Under class, make sure you start editing. Once you started editing, you give this one as to be sure, highlight it. So we're sure. To highlight it, that's number 3. So to be sure for this one is number 2. And to be sure for this one is number 1. Alright, so if you've done this, just cancel and save your work. Alright, so I believe we are done with this one. Okay, so we have different class, number 1, 2, 3. So the next thing you have to go, you go to feature to raster. Drag your feature here, and also you're selecting class. Select where you want to save your file. We're looking at file stations. Under file station, by giving it file station underscore AHP. Alright, you click it save. Remember to put .tif. Yeah. So believe this one is 0.3. You have a good. So once you've done this, just click on close. There's an issue. It's showing only 2 because we highlighted this. We keep doing a mistake. It shows only 2 because we highlighted this one alone. So you delete this one. Double click on the feature to raster again. And make sure you clear all selected feature. And you give this one as number 2. Alright, click OK. Alright, if you've done this, just close. You see you have all different factors. And you can bring this one down. You can bring this one up. Alright, so it's telling us that anywhere within this red is not suitable. This one is suitable and this one is highly suitable, very suitable to build. So we have 3 parameters now, or 2 factors, sorry. So that's for fire station. So if you've done 1, 2, 3, fire station, water body, okay, it remains buildings. All right, so for these buildings, first of all, we have to make a shortcut because this one is going to be there are much buildings there are many, so it's going to take a lot of time. So the first thing we have to do is to make sure that we merge all of them. If you check your attributes, we have about 5,712 buildings, and you want to do a buffer for 5,000 buildings. You understand? You want to do a buffer for 5,000 buildings. It's going to be serious. So anywhere for building, like I said, always make sure you check research for something like this. You should have a backup proof that, okay, for me, I'm going to say that anywhere 5-mile radius from the buildings or residence or settlement is highly suitable to put a fire station. For that, it will make you look like, okay, anywhere within 5-mile radius from the building, this is where I want to put my building. Alright, this is where I want to locate my fire station. So that anybody that, because definitely people that are living in buildings that will need fire services in case of emergencies. So for this, what we're going to do is we're going to make a buffer for 5 miles. Before we make a buffer for 5 miles, we have to merge all the data sets. So now this one is in my general data file. So I'm going to make a backup for this. Go to data, export data. Once you export data, like we always do, you create a new folder for buildings, and for buildings, 5 miles. Okay, I think this one was before. I've done this before. Alright, so for this building, we're going to call this one buildings. Let me just give this one as backup. Let's go. Alright, so I'm going to call this one buildings. Alright, you save your work, add it to your file, then you remove this one. So we know that we have a building. So if you scroll down, you see a lot of buildings. There are so many. Alright, so what you do, you right click on this and go to edit features, start editing. Once you start editing, right click on this selection, select all. So once you've selected all, click OK there and go to merge every one of them. Alright, so it's going to take a while to load, and you click on, let's click on buildings, click OK. So all well and good. Open attributes, we have only one attribute representing all of them, so it will be easy to make a buffer for this one. So once you are done, stop editing and click yes and save. So for this, we are going to geoprocessing, make a buffer of 5-mile radius. Alright, so I'm going to make buffer of buildings. Let me just drag this on here. Buffer of buildings. So I'm going to locate a better place to see my building. So building of 5 miles buffer underscore here underscore 5 miles. So I'm going to, I need to change this one to backup so it doesn't conflict with what I'm doing. So you click save, make sure you put 5 miles, and you click OK. Alright, so if you've done this, the next thing we'll be looking at to do is also make sure that when you are doing analysis, to slow down your system, you have to shut down other software. But you press Ctrl Shift Escape, and you click on more, you see performance of your processor is high by some other softwares. Okay, so those ones that are using the CPU more, you have to close those ones down to make sure that you can click on this and end it so that your processing will be a bit faster. Alright, so this is going to take a while. I'm going to have to relax and come back to this.